Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Milan have edged past Verona in a very hard fought, closely, contested game. They won the game 1-0, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I expected this game to be very close. Like I said in my prediction video as well, that both these teams are quite inconsistent, and with the way that both of them are not, not really that confident at the moment as well. Coming into this game, the Milan's form is everywhere. So is Verona. Like Verona are 17th in the table as well. So you expected, and then I expected this to be a very tight game, and it was like a tight game. Like the first half, it was quite KG. Like a couple of chances created by Milan, one chance created by Verona, but it never looked like that. Any of them were gonna go ahead and and take the lead. It was quite a KG affair. Both teams trying to cancel each other out, and even though Milan had and it's not a good amount of possession in the first half, but they, as I said, they really did not create that much, and what they created, it was not that much threatening for Verona. But I think in the second half the game was quite different, especially in terms of Milan. The way that they played, they were a lot more quicker in their passing. The way that they moved the ball, it was quite good. And the fact is that the moment they scored that goal, when they take the lead, like the goal, Tijani Rangers gets the goal, and it was a really well worked goal. That the way he waits for to make that run when the ball is about to come. The pass also, I mean, the weight of the pass to split the two between the central defenders, that and then for Rangers to go ahead and score it, and it has to be him. The way that his form has been for Milan, he's one of their, for me, like Rangers and Pulisic, they are the two of the best Milan players, important players for Milan this season, and he goes ahead and he scores that goal. And I think that goal basically opened up the game, because until now Verona were basically defending for their lives, and they had that clean sheet to to defend. So they never really tried to go ahead and get the goal, try to score, because for them a draw would have been a great result. But the moment that Milan scored that goal, then they have to go out, and when they went out, it became even easier for Milan as well to exploit the spaces behind the defenders, which they started, and which were not there before, because they were quite a compact. The way that Verona were defending, it was hard to break them down, but because now they had to chase, they were chasing the game, they had to get the equalizer. So Milan had the opportunity, they had the freedom to play those long balls, to play that counter-attacking football, where they started getting more and more chances. Verona had a couple of good chances at themselves where they could have equalized, but it didn't really work out for them. They were not really able to. I wouldn't say like the chances that Verona created today were not really that threatening. Like they were not that dangerous. Almost like all of them would have been saved by any goalkeeper, if I'm being very honest with you. Like it was not nothing special to get past the keeper. Milan, on the other hand, I think they created a lot of good chances in the second half, but the goalkeeper for Verona, I think he had a really good game. He would be quite disappointed that he considered the goal the way that they considered, but I think it has more to do with the way that Milan set up the goal, and the way that they beat the offside line for the goalkeepers, because it was hard for him to score that to stop that goal. But Milan overall, like they really needed that win, because they are under a lot of pressure. The men sorry about that, the manager is under a lot of pressure. The players themselves, like they have been so inconsistent. Milan, like the last 5 games, it's 2 wins, 2 draws, and a defeat. The last 6 games, it is 2 defeats, 2 draws, and 2 wins. So like they have been all over the place. There is no consistency, and that is why for me, like they are out of the title race for me, and for me they are out of the European places as well. Really don't think that they are going to end up finishing in the European places. And if they might, if there is one team they can take get out of there, I think it could be Juventus. That Juventus might miss out the way that they are playing, but apart from that, I just don't see Milan catching anybody from the top 6 at the moment. And maybe like the way that they are playing, there are teams below them. I mean, for example, Bologna might overtake them and Milan end up finishing it. So that is why they really needed this win, and it just shows you how much of a bad form that they are in, that they had to fought really hard for this win against the 17th place Verona. I mean, that's how much they are struggling. I don't know if it can get better for Milan, but for me, like it can get worse for sure, because it has not worked out till now this season. Verona, on the other hand, I think they will be quite disappointed They were really good defensively in the first half, and up until they conceded the goal, I think they were still they defended very very well. It was just like a pure moment of magic, if I'm being very honest with you, the way that Milan set up the goal. And I think full props to Verona for defending for as long as they did, and even after conceding, like as I said, they left a lot of spaces behind for Milan to exploit when they were chasing the game, when were they trying to go ahead and get the equalizer. But Milan continued creating chances, and Verona kept on making sure that they don't concede, kept on repelling them, including the goalkeeper and the back four. I think as Verona as a defensive unit, they had a great game, if I'm being very honest with you. But as an offensive unit, that's where they messed up. They were just not really able to create that many good chances. I meant for a 1-1 draw in that game, because I knew, like I expected the game to go like this, because Milan are so what's the word I want to use? Like they don't really have any confidence at the moment. They are so dejected the way that things have been going. So there is no confidence. So that is why I thought this is going to be very tough for them, especially going away. It's a night game as well. So that all of these things take effect on that. And the game was basically quite a close, quite a hard fought win for Milan. But in the end, they got the job done. Verona, they are now 17 in the table, and by the end of the weekend, if Cagliari somehow able to they get a win, or they are able to get a point based on goal difference, Verona might end up in the relegation zone at the end of the weekend. So that comes into play for them as well. So it's not been a good night for them. That is why it was important for them to not lose this game, but they couldn't really stop Milan, unfortunately, for them. But Milan, as I said, a great win for them, and an important win for them to somehow keep their aspirations of going into Europe alive. I just don't think I think it is gonna happen. I think even though the top six it is so right, and Juventus are not playing that good, I still think that Juventus are somehow gonna edge Milan for that European place. But for at the moment, Milan's main objective would be to get back into those European places, and they need to they need to start winning games consecutively. You just cannot have a win and then you drop points, and then you lose and then you again win. It's not gonna work for you. And Francesca needs to do something really quickly, because like he's under a lot of pressure because of Milan fans, because he has not really lived up to their expectations. And if he fails to qualify for Europe, I think that is going to be a big problem for them. Not only for them, for him, but for the board as well, because they are the ones who hired them, and the fans from day one have not been they have not really received him with welcome arms. So they were always skeptical about him. And to be very honest with you, it's showing why they were skeptical, because the score that he has, it is a lot better than what they are doing on the pitch. So I think it comes down to the manager sometimes as well, because his tactics are not really working, and in the end it's the fans who are suffering to see their club. I said in my prediction video, like from the top 6 are in the title race, and then the bottom 12 are basically in the relegation fight, relegation fight. And then there are two clubs for me, Bologna and Milan, who are nowhere. So if the league is so tight from a top to bottom, and your club is not involved in any of those scenarios, of course it's gonna piss you off. And I think that is one of the biggest reasons why Milan fans are so angry. And I was looking at the social media after the match and during the match. Even though they won, they were not really pleased with the performance and the way that Milan are playing. So the manager is under the stick, and the players are under the stick as well. That is from me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys thought of Milan's performance. What do you think where they can finish, and what do you think is the problem for Milan this season, and what do you think they should do to make it better? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 400 subscribers before the end of this year, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Like just 50 plus subscribers remaining, and you still have about 10-11 days for the new year. So please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.